Welcome back to our channel, and our topic for today is on design principles. This time it's about balance, the symmetrical or formal balance, and asymmetrical or the informal balance. We have here introduction about balance is a distribution of visual weight within a composition. It can be in the form of arts or in the form of composition in architecture. The pictorial balance axis line of a reference around which a form or composition is balanced. Often this vertical line down the center of a piece that we use to determine balance. Equilibrium, visual balance between opposing compositional elements when the two sides of an image feel balanced. When equilibrium is lacking in a piece, often a certain uneasiness or dissatisfaction results. Horizontal and vertical placement. Balance, some equal distribution of visual weight is universal aim of every composition. Imbalance, an artist may choose to use imbalance in a composition to enhance a theme or topic or to create a response, causes attention to be created. More on bottom equals stable and calm. More on top, unstable and dynamic. The four types of balance: symmetrical balance, asymmetrical balance, radial balance, crystallographic balance, or all-over pattern. Symmetrical balance. Symmetrical balance, the simplest kind of balance to recognize and see, also called bilateral symmetry. The same shapes are repeated on the left and the right side of the axis. The formal balance, a type of symmetrical balance also called classical, creates a feeling of permanence, strength, and stability, also considered sedate, calm, and dignified. Symmetry unifies, used often in architecture, most notably in government buildings, also in churches. Examples from various art forms. Using symmetry of nature, many things in nature are symmetrical. Vertical axis and the human body, we relate forms to our own human shape. Symmetry becomes the emphasis. Asymmetrical balance is the second type of balance. Asymmetrical balance, informal balance, sometimes it is called, or sometimes it is called occult balance. Dissimilar objects not alike have equal visual weight or eye attraction. Asymmetrical balance is informal balance, appears casual unless planned, but in fact is harder to create. Carefully planning symmetry gives a less rigid, more casual impression. 3 ways to achieve a symmetrical balance or the informal balance. Number 1, balance by a value or color. Number 2, balance by texture and pattern. Number 3, balance by position and eye direction. Balance by value or color. Value, a contrast of light and dark. A large area of dark can be balanced by a bright color. Tip, our eyes are attracted to color and we look at color over black and white first. Silhouette, the area between the contours of a shape, usually a black shape, seen as an outline. Balance by value of color is a great tool, allowing the large difference of shapes on either side of the center axis and still achieving equal eye attraction. Balance by texture and pattern. Texture adds interest. Texture draws the eye more than Smooth flat color. Using texture pattern for balance, a large shape can be balanced by smaller texture shape. Texture can be balanced by a more complex shape. See the example in the right side. Example texture and pattern for balance. In this Japanese woodcut, a large simple form is balanced by an intricate pattern or texture. The color of the mountain is balanced by the texture of the water. Number 3. Balance by position and eye direction. In physics, to balance two objects of different weights, place the larger one closer to the center. The diagram illustrates this concept. Achieving casual balance. Balance by position can lead to an unexpected, unusual quality, maybe even appearing casual and unplanned, but the artist is actually mindful of the balance. Connecting the eyes. While this composition may appear weighted to the left, balance is achieved by connecting the line of the gaze between the two subjects. Analysis of asymmetrical techniques. Methods for creating balance usually employ several methods at once. They rarely isolate just one technique. The radial balance. Examples in nature and art. Radial balance when the elements radiate or circle out from a common central point. Radial balance is commonplace in nature, often seen in crafts such as jewelry and ceramics. Cultural symbols. Radial balance is also frequently used in architecture and urban planning. Mandala, a radial concentric organization of geometric shapes and images, commonly used in Tibetan mandalas and in the rose windows of Gothic churches. All-over pattern. Crystallographic balance. Balance with equal emphasis over the whole format, more commonly known as all-over pattern. It is like a symmetrical balance that constantly repeats. Here are some examples of symmetrical balance, or other known as formal balance in architecture. How about variation in symmetry? Here are more examples of approximate symmetry. Example 2 also demonstrate inverted symmetry. When design elements are mirrored both vertically and horizontally with the center of the composition acting as a focal point, it is called radial symmetry. The asymmetrical balance or the informal balance can be quite stable, very dynamic, or nearly chaotic. It depends on the degree of asymmetry. You can use the following simple strategies to create a symmetrical or informal balance. Balance is constantly changing. Balance in a composition changes each time a visual element is added or removed. Any questions? Well, we will continue on example of informal and formal balance, this time on buildings in architecture. Okay class, here are some examples of what we called informal balance in architecture. So if you're designing modern buildings, you should know how to apply this principle of design. the informal or asymmetrical balance. Now try to put a line, divide the building into the center, and you can see that the other side is not mirrored with the other side. So therefore, there is no symmetry, and the design is absolutely informal or asymmetrical balance. Now, what is good in designing informal and asymmetrical balance? Well, it is dynamic in shape. Okay, the building is just like it is energetic, moving. Try to see the slanting lines. Compare it to the vertical or horizontal lines. The slanting lines is more dynamic, and there is movement in it and energy. That's why abstract paintings uses informal balance. Same in architecture. Okay, so if you want your buildings to be noticed, try to design it in informal way or asymmetrically. Another example of this twin tower, which is the other one is much shorter than the other one. Of course, their texture is the same, but their shape is not the same. So therefore, it is still informal or asymmetrical balance. How about this building here? Yes, sir, it is still informal balance. Because if you put a line in the center, you can never see a mirror image of the other half. Now, let's see this building too. Okay, put a line in the center, and you can never see the mirror image of the left side of the structure right here in the right side. So it is asymmetrical or informal balance. Now, what do you prefer, guys? Informal or formal balance structure in architecture? Now, let's see examples of formal or make that symmetrical balance buildings in architecture that you can apply. Okay, class, here are some examples of a good formal balance structures or buildings that you can use as reference for your design in your architecture. Okay, so this is Petronas Tower, and you can see, guys, what is in the left or right side is being mirrored in the other side. So if you put a line in the center, this will tell that the other half of the axis will always mirror with the other. Okay, so it is just like a twin. Mirror image is the secret in a good formal balance composition. Okay, another example here. Try to put a line in the center, and still you can see same shape from the right to the left. So still symmetrical balance structure. Now for another example, this is the Taj Mahal, constructed by the Emperor Shah Jahan in Agra, India, dedicated to his wife Taj Mahal. This structure employs a very formal or symmetrical balance. See, the turret tower in the right is being mirrored right here in the left. Same with the turret or tower at the back. Similar heights with tower in the left. And if you try to divide the dome in the center, still the other part is same size or same dimension with the left. So simply it mirrors, the right axis mirrors to the left axis. Even the ponds here and the trees mirrors to each other. Perfect example of what we call formal or symmetrical balance in architecture. How about the pyramid? Yeah, still, it is formal balance. Okay, same measurement size in the left and the right axis, perfectly mirrors. So it is make that formal and symmetrical balance structure. Okay guys, so there are questions at the end of the video. Please answer it right away. Alright class, here are the questions for you to answer, and write your answer on a piece of white bond paper and send the JPEG or soft copy right into our Google Classroom email. Okay, let's start with number 1 question. What is the difference of formal and informal balance? What types of balance is informal? Which part of your body is an example of formal balance? What is the difference between formal or symmetrical balance and informal or asymmetrical balance? What are the 3 types of formal balance? What is the effect of informal balance? Okay, the effect of informal balance, let's see in architecture. So what is formal balance? How is formal balance achieved? What is informal balance used for? What is the difference between formal balance and structural balance? How does the balance affect the composition? What are the 4 types of balance? Okay guys, that's it for today. And don't forget to make a lot of comments in our YouTube videos. For your comments will be your attendance. Thank you so much. Ciao.